Hello everybody, welcome back to the Contest Realm podcast. We are now on episode 46, I want to say, but I've got to check the numbers. And if you don't know already, we are available on Soundcloud, Spotify, iTunes, and everywhere else. The links are always in the bios, and make sure you're following on those various different platforms and areas. And we've got our returning show. This is our first one of the new year. Let's welcome my co-host, Dan. Hello.
Rich, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
2021 starting off with that 2020 feel, huh?
It is. It definitely is. But I must admit, there's always kind of like great numbers for December. Myself and Dan have done some fantastic numbers for both of our site and channel respectively. If you don't know already, go to the links in the bios to www.frontlinemcoc.home.blog. That's where you get all your information or things that are coming up. Things that need to be guided together for yourself, progression at a lower level and higher level, and all that lovely juicy things. And was December good for you?
December was great. I mean, December was the highest month in traffic ever for the site, so that was awesome to see. And January has picked it right up after that. We're taping this on January 8th. And I've already more than doubled January 2020 site traffic.
Wow.
So it's like, it's been crazy. I mean, a lot of that, we'll get into that. But I think I've talked about this before, is the more confusing the side quest is, the better my hits are on the site. So this is a good side quest for me.
Yeah.
In terms of traffic to the site, because everyone's confused about this thing. But before we get to that, it is a new year, new me. I have left Cavalier in the 2020s.
Yeah. And
2021 started out with I believe it was New Year's Day, a New Year's Day Thronebreaker rank up of my Captain Marvel movie, who I haven't used much yet as a rank 3, but I am loving these daily Thronebreaker crystals. They alone are worth it.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just about to save up a big chunk to kind of do a opening at the latter part of this month, and I'm like, I like them a lot.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about what we used to spend on a half a tier 2 alpha, and then you pop it out of your daily, you're just like, oh, well, that's helpful.
Damn right. Oh yeah, I just thought I'd bring up the page on YouTube. If people are watching on YouTube, then you'll see Dan indeed getting the that fully formed cosmic, and then the decision has to be one of many ways. And yeah, I think it's for me. I'm in so many kind of different thought processes with mine, because I got this decision as well. I can rank 3 another 6-star, but I think with you got a lovely Red Goblin, and I've been using Red Goblin quite a bit.
I think I'd need to dupe him though, because my next, because Captain Marvel movie, mine is unduped, so she doesn't impact my prestige, and I really need to make sure my next rank 3 actually raises my prestige.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm getting a little far behind for a Map 7 Alliance. It's not the best feeling. But you need to dupe the right 6 stars. You need to be able to take them to rank 3. It's not that easy.
Yeah, I need to make decisions about what I'm doing in my roster. I think for me, it's going to be a process of. I was hoping to 100% Abyss this month, but I think with the problems that have happened with Aegon, I'm going to wait off a little bit. And I think my next focus is, after I've done the event quest, then move on to 7.1 100%. And then, because I really want to get Abyss done. It's just a case of getting that large amount of chunk of 6 stars, ticking something quite major off my box. Now that checklist, sorry. Box? What am I talking about? Check box?
Check box. Checking the box.
Yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Boxes can be checked.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that.
If you're Amazon, you've got to do that every single day. That was an Amazon. That was terrible. Right, moving on. Right, so it's been a hell of a week so far.
It has. Yeah, new update, and this feels like the amount of bugs that I'm hearing about with this update
Yeah,
it's kind of upsetting because I'm hearing about, you can't do Abyss because Aegon's bugged. I'm hearing about people getting kicked out of content. There's this weird thing where Spider-Ham crashes your game and they had to remove him from the side quest.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's going on?
There's also like reports today that I'm hearing about Corvus Glaive. Now, I did skim something because I a lot of the time when I try and grab stories, because a lot of people do come to me with various different problems that they're experiencing. A lot of the times, what a good kind of like, I mean, yeah, obviously same for yourself, Dan.
Yeah.
What I like to do is, first of all, I need to see that there's a presence for this being put onto the forums, because then it's a case that it's on a site that Kabam regularly visit. It's also at a point where other players come together for giving that feedback in that particular instance. And what it does is it allows me to assist and apply the pressure. Applying the pressure means that we can then get Kabam to kind of make decisions around this and going, okay, well, look, these summoners are coming to this. Rich has done a video on it. Many other people may do videos where applying pressure. But I think Corvus, people were saying about a problem with Corvus's power control off of an SP2 not being there.
That one, I'd had people pinging me about that one as well. And I believe we did see someone in the CCP had run into that as well. I mean, that power drain, it only works when the opponent has their SP3 ready to go. So if that thing doesn't power drain, you are in deep trouble.
Yeah.
Like, you're counting on that, and considering what a major AQ attacker Corvus is, that's a nasty one.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching on the on YouTube, I'm just bringing up the post now, where Kabam Exhibit says on January 6th, we've alerted the rest of the team so they can look into it. From what I gather, a lot of the bug responses have not been there as to, like, what are we on? 6th, that's 2 days.
We're about 2 days after the update. I think they're just swamped. Yeah. I think there's just too many right now. I mean, this isn't just like one thing or like tied to one game mode or event. Like, sometimes it's like, okay, there's this thing with the side quest and it's isolated. These don't appear to be isolated. They're more character oriented and thus game wide.
Yeah.
So a tough way to come back from the holiday break for those Kabam devs.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things that are on the back burner bug-wise. They're just not like...
Yeah, I think there's a backlog. I know we've talked about the Omega thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which is that is an acknowledged bug.
Yeah.
It's just taking a long time to get it done. It's still not fixed right now. As of, you did a video on it this morning, actually.
Yeah, and funny enough, I got somebody in my Discord asking me to apply more pressure on it, and I was like, I've just done a video on it. We're doing what I can. There's people in the CCP, out the CCP, Twitter, Ilex in a video. Everybody's trying the best they can to apply pressure to Kabam to do it, but it's like, I can't go there. I mean, I can't fly to Canada now to say, look, I'll tinker with something to get it. I'll get under the bonnet and have a look. We'll plug some stuff in or something. Do what we can.
Yeah, I just think they have a lot to fix right now. So it's, if you're a big Omega Red player, which of course a lot of people are because he's such a great champion. I can't manage to pull him, so
same here.
I didn't really know he was bugged until I started looking through all of this. You want that prioritized, but of course other people want their champs prioritized.
Yeah,
prioritized. So it's kind of a no-win, but it's been a messy week. These update weeks are always a little sketchy, but certainly this one. More so than most.
Yeah, there's been, a lot of the confusion with the elements of the side quest, and like, I really had to say to myself, look, don't do a fourth video on.
Don't do a fourth video. You know it's bad when you're like, don't do a fourth video in like 36 hours or something, right? Because that's the time frame we're talking about.
I was so close.
And guys, for Rich is very disciplined with his videos. And he has the news on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And we do the podcast, and he has his whole timeline for the week mapped out. And then when something like this comes in, and he's making multiple videos he didn't expect, like, it just throws a monkey wrench in the live streams and everything. It's a lot to deal with. So I think the big thing with the side quest was the forum post was wrong about the tokens, so that confused people, right? But that wasn't a bug. That was just incorrect information, but they did fix it once it went live. And I think a lot of people are just confused about the trade-offs of the event. Have you settled on a strategy that you're going to use for this event?
I think I'm going for a split. The thing is, other people were coming to different theories, and like I get it. Like even Kabama put an objective, and I this is the problem with this objective going live. The mistake of it going live first, because it created a narrative that maybe Kabam were trying to say something like, "Hey, maybe it would be good to save one of your tokens back to do a different difficulty." Hence, splitting between going down the route of, say. I did some quick math. This is what I was going to say for this other video that I've decided not to do. Did I delete it? Hopefully I didn't. I mean, I kind of like, I'll say it in any case. So the idea behind this theory was that you would do X amount in Legendary and then save back X amount for doing the objectives, but objectives in Epic. Yep. But the biggest problem is if you separate it between both, and you might be able to achieve it, because we didn't realize that nobody would realize that you only needed to do the I don't know if it even said in the forum post that you would only need to do 30 tokens worth of work in order to am I going to say this right? That's it. No, 30 stamps worth of work. 30 stamps worth of work. I'm going to have to repeat myself.
Make the right item. Yep.
30 stamps worth of work to get yourself the objectives, which means that you can separate out what you grind in Epic, because if you decide that you go down the mutant grind route, you get 3 back a time. So say for whatever reason you get the 16, you do the 16 and you kind of break it into how it's meant to be. You could separate out and still take back a good amount of stamps and objectives. However, though, if you go the shards route, you don't really get anything of great value. If you go, you do if you want to do just a legendary, but if you decide, okay, well, I'm going to separate it down to the epic prize, there's not really much on offer, because you will only be able to do, and I think I worked this out, you will only be able to get the legendary crystal from the shards of epic, which is like, well, who wants a legendary? You get a slim chance. It's very difficult. This is why I was umming and ahhing whether or not to do a second video to kind of present this different type of method, but I just said I can't really be bothered with this. This is just getting out of hand now.
Yeah, I think because there's a lot of flexibility with the rewards, which is usually good. I think people are a little confused about the trade-offs, and I think there was sort of this initial rush to say, like, well, I want all these rewards, and no, you can't get the rewards. And they're like, well, I want to do legendary and epic. And then there was I know I, for one, was like, guys, before you start doing epic, you got to decide if you want the tier 5 class catalyst, the 10% from the Cavalier objective. Because if you start doing epic, those stamps are going to count for that objective. So you do have to pick where you want to end up at the end of the event in advance.
Yeah.
If you're haphazard about it, just like, oh, I'm gonna do some epic, and then it's like, oh, I don't have enough tokens to get the tier 5 class catalyst. Like, make sure you decide which reward is the most important for you first, and have a plan to accomplish that first before you start going for the secondary stuff.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm gonna go as much as I can. I mean, for the video, I did one of one and one of the other, because what I wanted to do is go, hey, look, I'm going into this blind. Here's my experience of going into it blind. These are the fights and champions that I used. Potential other options. Here you go. But my plan will more than likely be to secure, or at least work towards securing, the bag and the bag for me is the 10% tier 5 class catalyst, then is to then look at, well, I'm making the investment into the mutant side of things for my first, it will be first 15 because of what I did with the video. But I would, that's where I'm at, is going more so for that. I've done the harder elements, so therefore it's an easy ride going into the second time I go into it. But, I may decide to change towards the end and I have to. And if I want those 150 units, I'm going to have to make sure that I don't overspend my tokens, which I think is definitely possible. It just means I've got to, as I said, prioritize, and then, say, in about in 2 weeks' time, is then go, okay, where am I at? Am I close to this tier 5 class catalyst crystal? Am I not? What's my extra calculations? And what is my likely take home? Which I think I've done in those videos. But yeah, it's been a real...
Yeah. They confirmed that that unit objective was coming back? I thought that wasn't coming back. Maybe I missed something.
I thought it was coming back.
Oh. I thought it was something that accidentally went live.
I think it was accidentally
meant to be part of the event. I get whatever it was. It accidentally went live because they pulled it, right?
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't supposed to be part of the event. I don't know.
Well, when I quickly looked at it, I want to say that it said something about the 2 difficulties of the. I'm pretty certain it said 2 difficulties of the side quest.
Yeah, explore 2 difficulties objectives was not intended to go live and will be removed very soon. We apologize for the confusion and any inconvenience this may cause. 124 disagrees because people like units.
Yeah, I'm pretty...
One insightful.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain I saw something from Mike saying it would return.
Oh.
But I don't know if it's meant to return with the part 2.
I guess we'll have to see. I mean, if it comes back, that's great, because who doesn't like units?
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one. Did you go shards or rank up materials for set 1?
I went shards. I'm trying to go
as well.
I'm trying to go wider with my 6-star roster.
Same. Are you going to go 6-star the second time as well, or shards the second time?
I'm going shards second time.
Okay. Yeah. See, I'm gonna switch over to rank up for the second time because I want to get those 2% T5 CCs. I'm all about that tier 5 class catalyst. So just because it's so limited, it is. There are some nice 6-star shards in set 2. I mean, it's a tough choice, but the T5 CC is harder for me to get right now.
Yeah, that might be something I might switch over to do. I guess it depends on where we're up with Aegon for a repair job, and if it's up and running. If it's not,
Aegon's in the shop.
Aegon's in. We all these kind of like car analogies here with this.
I know.
Yeah, that's my issue is kind of going like. I guess I could go and focus more on 100%ing Act 6. I think that's what I'll do. Is I'll kind of go for the 6 stars and see where my luck is at. I don't know if I'll go 6-star featured. I think I'm more inclined to do basics and see where my luck takes me. Mm-hmm. Although there's some decent stuff that I wouldn't mind awakening now that I've got the stuff for the first time, or even try and chance my luck to get a Cosmic Ghost Rider. I guess the real thing is like when gifting event drops the rank rewards, which will be early next week, how that kind of falls for the chunk and how much I kind of feel like I want to invest. I kind of am a bit annoyed because I didn't pull the trigger more on trying to trade more units for revives, because I've currently I was quite savvy with it and put in my inbox the gifts. Like I got like packs of 10 revives. I'm got in there for 24 days now. Mm-hmm. So that was a good way of hoarding those without them kind of like super expiring.
Right.
So I'm kind of a bit annoyed because I'm sitting on units and I just wanted some more.
Yeah. Yeah, those crystals do get addicting. And so I think that's about it for the side quest. So the other big news item of the week is we have our first champion of 2021, Jubilee. She's going to be in the arena on Thursday, the 14th. But she's already out in those early access bundles. You released your video for your CCP review. What did you think of Jubilee, Rich?
Oh, I liked it, but we had the same. I saw what you put, and yeah, I do agree. I like her. I like the damage capabilities. I just don't like watching other parts. I'm meant to be watching not to get hit,
right?
Rather than kind of like watching what firework mode I'm at. Like, some people like it. Look,
seriously,
people will like it. But we had the same discussion last year, funnily enough, when we talked about Nova, where if you spend too much time watching the top left-hand corner, and say for people that try not to get hit, it's like, okay, what kind of firework am I? Am I ready for blue, which I need for the utility factor and the cycle? It's not as smooth as Sorcerer Supreme. It's not as smooth as, say, champions that end on a light attack and go into a special to do something different.
Imagine if Clairvoyant changed her curse every time you hit the opponent. How maddening that would be. That's basically what Jubilee does. Like, it's a little weird because she was designed as a utility champion, but it feels like her best feature is her damage. Her damage is fine. She's fun to play in that regard. It's just, if you try to like zero in and be specific on what you're trying to accomplish and activate with her, it can get really frustrating. Because you have to be very, very dialed into the firework patterns. Like, all right, well, what combo am I going to be doing? And like the math, and I don't want to be doing that math in my head. It's hard enough for me not to get hit as it is. It's just, someone asked me, like, what do you think? And I was like, well, she's fine for arena.
Yeah.
Like, I can't envision taking her into content and trying to utilize her utility. That just feels like a degree of difficulty I don't need in my life.
Also, I was having problems with
she looks cool.
She does, and she functions really well. And it's just like the 90s animated cartoon, but you'll get to play with it. That's great. But the issue that I found as well is consistency around the crit. And like the SP2, even though like I managed to produce something of like 211,000 damage SP2, and I was like, yay! But the amount of time it took to try and get that was like, I think about 1 in 4 attempts in that cycle against Winter Soldier to try and execute that, because a lot of the times it would go big yellow number, flatline white number. And I was like, oh, well, that's why am I seeing people in the CCP Discord going, yeah, got that. And it's like, didn't happen for me. And
I feel like that's almost every champion, though.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, well, what did you do? It's like, all right, well, I don't know if you're running suicides or not. Then there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, I just compare her to compare her to Silver Surf a lot in that sort of how she's designed, the watching of the top left corner of the screen. I think there's people that will like her and get something out of her, much like Silver Surfer. I think she has I think she has a higher floor and a lower ceiling than Silver Surfer, if that makes sense. Like Silver Surfer, you really have to build him up. He is not starting with much. But if you can play that style really, really well, Metal Sonic Dude, looking in your direction, you're going to get some amazing numbers out of Silver Surfer. And Jubilee's a bit like that, but I think it's a little bit narrower of a window. She's got some decent baseline damage, and kind of that's why I keep using words like okay and fine. Like, she's not Terrax, she's not Airwalker. Like, we don't need to go crazy here. It's just some really curious design choices.
Yeah, it's. I think even one of the Kabam devs said something like "Jack of all trades, master of none."
Yeah.
I think is an adequate way of summing it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, original Ghost Rider is kind of my gold standard for the jack of all trades, master of none, because at least with the blade synergy, like, you know when that utility is gonna land. Like, you may only be able to trigger one bleed going through the rotation unless you do the SP3 in the fight, but like, you know when that's gonna happen. If you want that effect, you have 100% chance to get that effect with that synergy. With Jubilee, it's a little bit dicier trying to queue up the utility you want.
Yeah.
I mean, she has that pre-fight, which kind of seems like an acknowledgement of, like, maybe we're going to need them to be able to dial this in a little bit more, but like, the work that you would need to keep her in the same firework color just is not worth it to me.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think we just have to look forward to what... I haven't tried Strife yet. I need to find some time to try Strife, but I'm more hopeful for that one.
Always got to focus on the first one that's getting released, and then loop back to the second one when we have a chance.
Yeah. It's been kind of weird to have a month start to this month, where there's not been a huge amount of... I say a huge amount of content not to cover, apart from the side quest side of things. This has been something that... It's been like a little bit more chilled start to the month, and I can start just hammering with what I need to do, which is then I can then get my content grinding schedule and at least content making schedule, because there's a video I'm putting out tomorrow, which is the top 10 best features coming to the game in 2021. So what I've done is I've gone to the dev diary. I've taken things that are in development and in design, and to kind of get an idea, because I'm guessing Kabam here on actually kind of building the stuff, but to kind of put it in perspective is they put in November that the undo button was in development, but that has come in for January. So I'm kind of going with that's where they're at. In development will mean that it's more so of an imminent thing, and saying that, they could... Are they going to be able to do Arena 2.0? Well, they did say back in June time that was going to be a 12-month process. So kind of guessing them well is like saying, okay, well, are they likely to complete that in about 16 months? And the answer will probably be more than likely. So that video will already be out. So I can give everyone a little flavour of that. If I can just find the info, I'll talk to you about it, Dan. I'm just going to restore it because I was about to bin it.
You know what I keep getting asked about is those wish crystals they're working on. I think people are really excited about those.
That's on the list. So I've gone top 10 is number 10, social progression, raid bosses for number 9, incursions hacks to be reworked, solo competitive mode, arena 2.0, tag team or strikers, AQ office tools, Summer of Pain or endgame content, and the Wish Crystal being the number one thing to expect. Because they all become a little bit kind of we're all kind of quiet about it. I think for a lot of what I've done with this top 10 is I've made it more in a case of everyone's a winner. So for the competitors, your MSDs, your what's his name? The top American Summoner Showdown, Happy McMuffins. For your Happy McMuffins, you got your endgame content as well for the people that are on. So I've done everything kind of people, your Summer of Pain. Solo competitive mode, as I said, for the very competitive, your MSDs, Happy McMuffins. And for myself and Dan, it's about incursions hacks. Also for myself and Dan and other people that work and have a lot of kind of limited time because of family commitments and things like that. Arena 2.0, which is what it's meant to be, a time saver. AQ officer tools, that's something yourself, Dan, you've been after for a long time.
Yeah, really, I think that's going to improve a lot of people's lives when that goes into the game. Yeah.
Oh, I think I've actually made a mistake. I think I was meant to put in Alliance Wars improvements into that. I might need to have a quick kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I nearly made a mistake then. I've got to add one more thing to it. I'm glad I kind of thought, hey, hey, let's just quickly talk about this. So
you
yeah,
almost issued a top 9 for your top 10 list.
Exactly. I need to find out because Alliance Wars revamp was meant to be there. That's something that I'd want to see. And raid bosses and the Alliance quest or Alliance camaraderie and Alliance based stuff. I think it definitely needs to be looked into. But yeah, that's where that list kind of lies. But yeah, I think it really concludes our MCOC portion.
Yeah.
And now we need to move on. That's actually perfect because we've hit the 30 minutes mark.
Oh, we're so good.
Yes, we are. This is
astoundingly efficient.
So now we're going to move on to Marvel Realm of Champions. Now, I must start off by saying I was incredibly jealous by seeing your 4-star epic orb, which
that was a nice drop.
I'm going to put on screen now for anybody that missed that. Dan picked up a very nice orb, which has got improvements to power, cold resist, health, and special power whilst aura is active. Is there any more stats on that one?
I mean, that's enough. I've got level 4 right now. I have to get it to level 5, but I need 691 more components.
Wow.
To do that, and I've got enough gold, but it's 21,000 gold to upgrade. So the upgrades are actually getting a little bit expensive there for my Storm as she approaches level 30.
Nice. I got so much gold.
I've got her at 27 right now, but there's it's that ISO. It takes a while, but deathmatch has actually been super helpful for getting the components I need without risking my my battle rating, which is something you've talked about a lot, and I think was probably your big MROC video of the week was defender tier and stop. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about that, because that's something that I really had to deal with a little bit, because I stopped and then I didn't, and I was going back and forth between defender and warrior, and eventually I got back over the cutoff and did just stop for right now.
The reason I did the video, and I've been playing about some optimization things. It's like I'm not going to say there's a lot less popularity with MROC. I mean, this week I haven't really posted that much, except for like a couple of things. But how to level up a champion more efficiently, and it's basically tier up and stop, defender and stop. The issue that I was really having is that as soon as I ticked over, I was getting dangerously close to going back into warrior tier. And I don't think there's any problem with that. It just frustrated the hell out of me, because a lot of the time I go into randoms, or there'd be teams that weren't really pulling their weight. I know, just like disrespect, but it's just an issue for me when I want to competitively build my champions up, and I'm finding that I'm dropping back. Actually, funny enough, I nearly lost. No, I did. I lost my temper today with a match just after I had dinner, where I put in about a 52% damage game, and my teammates could only muster about 20-something% each, and I was just like, oh, this just. I honestly I lost my cool, and I left the group and just funny about it. Yeah. But I was annoyed because I've worked so hard on my playing ability, and it's just a case of when stuff lets you down. And that's the circumstance that makes you go, right, well, what do? I want to get people want to build a defender, but whilst you're there, how do you sustain that? I think the best thing that you can do is look at your champion's strength. And if you've got like the gear like popping off, if you've got the if you've got everything else popping off well, or maybe you don't, then have a look to your gear. Can I level up? Can I rank? Can I upgrade my gear? And also, can I level up my champion? And that's the thing, like leveling up your champion doesn't give much, but if you are a level, say 20, which I was a level 22, level 22 Sorcerer Supreme in Defender tier.
That's about where I was when I crossed over for the first time.
And that's the issue for me, is that I could not sustain that, and I was playing about with different gear. I switched to orb, but I was finding that I was under damaging, so I switched back to my tome and figured out a new method to not necessarily carry my team, but heal up, shield up, and like keep them alive. But I found that it was more advantageous for me to be a higher leveled Sorcerer Supreme in that fight. And that's where it comes with the idea for the video going, okay, well, look, this worked for me. Let's share that. And so far I've been able to sustain a 800 plus rating. I'm not overly happy about that. I want to be 900. I want to be 1,000. I want to be 1,200. But it's just not possible with how randoms and bots are currently working at the moment. But how was your experience to get to Defender with Sorcerer Supreme? How hard did you have to work for it?
I ended up pushing Defender with her instead of another champion like Storm or Web Warrior, because I found that Sorcerer Supreme was easier to play, and it was easier to make up for any mistakes of my teammates when I'm doing randoms. Because I mostly got there with a push in random matchmaking, going in by myself. I have played with some of the other people from our alliance and some other friends that I've made, but that's mostly been some lower level stuff, not pushing as much. And the healing's just such a big advantage, where you're like, okay, like, let's watch what my teammates are doing. If I can just kind of back them up and be close enough to them to heal them, like, and the other team doesn't have a Sorcerer Supreme, we're probably going to win if I don't play too aggressive. So that was kind of how I did it.
I've also just noticed you're rocking a synergy. I don't know if you've got a same as mine, which is a totemic robe, but it looks like you've got the synergy of War Mage's mantra.
I do have that, yeah. So I have 4 synergies active on my Sorcerer Supreme. I have.
Oh, nice.
I may not have at the time of that screenshot, but I have Quick Thinking, which is cooldown reduction, the War Wages mantra, Esoteric Study, and While They're Down. So I have 4 synergies active, and I am trying to build them up.
Yeah.
I've got my Black Panther's got a lot of synergies too. I haven't got my Storm gear to line up well yet with the synergies.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I've got to redo some of my. I'm pretty happy with my Storm, but I need to look at it. The reason that I say that is I think that this is why Sorcerer Supreme is such a great champion, because if you've got a good synergy with it, you can find yourself like I love doing heavy attacks, but a lot of the time prior to a lot of these synergies being introduced, there hasn't been anything so substantial enough for me to kind of like enjoy that heavy attack methodology of play style. But the War Mage's mantra with the every 10 seconds gain a discipline stack, max 10, gain +7 attack damage per disciple stack. So that is going to mean for some nice amount of damage. More so if you've got anything kitted around it. I don't at the moment. I'm debating whether or not to have to put in gear that's specifically boosting heavy attack, because it plays into, look, the longer you can stay in the fight and the longer the fight plays out, the more damage you're going to do off of heavy attacks. And I think when I was hitting into the Bodog, I was doing something like 300. I think at one time I did 400 damage of doing like a heavy attack. And at times, like if you start off hitting the Bodog with a heavy attack, and then it's like light boom 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 boom, and then right at the very end you can like gauge it to then throw a heavy attack right at the end. You can really punch in a great amount of damage with that synergy group. So love it.
Yeah, no, she's a lot of fun, and especially if your teammates are playing smart and just let you support them. Sometimes it works out well and people seem to naturally get it, and sometimes it's like, do you think my healing spell is hurting you? Why are you running away from me right now?
Oh, I spend so much time running after people trying to get them in my...
Yes, get in my aura!
Get in my aura! Get in my space!
I feel you. I feel you, Rich. So, yeah, I think right now I'm trying to get my Sorcerer Supreme up to level 30. And then I need to get Hulk and Super Soldier up to level 12 for some gear unlocks, and then I'm going to decide who's my next Defender push after that.
Oh, because it is tough. It really is tough to try
and
grow.
It is, especially once you've got Sorcerer Supreme done.
Yeah, everything else seems harder. Like,
oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I've got a good enough team it just I need to now make a decision. Am I going away from trying to push anything further than 800? Because that's the issue. I am not finding people to work with at specific times. I mean, you know, we'll try, I think, at some stage to do like a stream, but it's just a case down to availability, really, to get it done, to try and push champions up to a higher rating. And I've got to work on my super soldier, who I started working with. Things were going well, and then I've like gone back to then try and push Sorcerer Supreme up to 900, which is always like, I always either drop down to 800, then build back up to 854, and it's down again, up and down. I'm just going like everywhere.
Right.
Hulk I've abandoned because of like I'm just not. I was interested with the play style, and then after a while I'm just like meh, just kind of not. And I got more into my ranged and my ranged champions.
Yeah, ranged is fun, and I think Black Panther is more fun than Hulk.
Oh,
if you're gonna go that frontline attacker, she's phenomenal. Very very gratifying to play. Yeah,
I do like to. I've really been enjoying that. I must admit, I've been putting some weak gear with her, and I need to kind of like now work on it. I had some like, I got her up to warrior about 650 with. Actually, did I go to 650? Yeah, I got her up to 650 with newcomer and recruit gear, and I was like, oh, I've got to change over the gear now, because now I'm getting into certain fights where I just cannot do it.
Right.
Because it just doesn't work. I need to be like putting in stuff with like auto armor or protection spec. So while above 50% health gain, 58 armor off like a headpiece where I didn't have anything before, or like take off the newcomer gear that I've got that gives 51 health, and then put in something that's got 69 health off of the base stats. I'm just like, what am I thinking?
Yeah.
Get it changed. I see as well you've got a massive amount of units. Have you decided what you're going to do with them?
Not yet, although they are starting to offer more deals. I've mostly just been buying ISO from the daily deal to rank up my Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
Just to progress a little bit faster, because at least leveling up that's going to hold some value, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know how quickly all this gear is going to escalate, so I'm a little bit reluctant to start opening up crates.
Whereas me, I'm just constantly pulling triggers because I'm hoping for like some more epic gear.
Yeah, want those 4 stars.
Oh, God, yeah. I've only got like one piece, and that's with my Storm, and I would love to get another. I really would like to get another epic piece. Now, did they give anything like I did get something here, which is Invigorating Gale, which is good because I have my my Storm as a blizzard, as a cold type champion, because you can either alternate between her being a shocking one or a cold environment, doing stuff like blizzard power and such like. So Invigorating Gale is on special use. Nearby allies restore 10 stamina. Now that's really weird for support thing to kind of like mean that, okay, well, I assume the stamina is the blue bar it's referring to. So they'll be able to evade more, or they'll be able to potentially do heavy attacks more. I don't think that. Maybe is that? I don't know 100% what it's to do. Is it the evade factor, or is it the heavy attack factor, or is it both?
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't have that one. I'm looking at my Storm right now. I don't seem to have that one.
I only recently picked it up. It's I should really kind of like. I really should put more kind of like emphasis on upgrading my gear. I've got now like not all rare gear, but I would love some more rare gear. Yeah, I mean, starting off. Honestly, I've got so much rare gear for my Storm. It's just I just don't have any kind of like placement of what to do with it, and I don't want to get rid of any of it because I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be valued down the line.
Yeah,
especially world class.
I mean, that's the trick. Is we don't know what the economy is for all this stuff yet, and sort of where you're going to plateau and get some longer term value out of gear. We don't know. The game's too young.
As well, the tiering factor is kind of an issue because now we're at a point where we only have like newcomer, recruit, warrior tier, defender tier. We do have several other tiers being added, but a lot of players aren't getting to them. They have to stomp on lowers in order to get higher.
Right.
So that becomes a bit of an issue. Like in some advantages, I don't see many people that are 1,200 going up against myself when I've been like 800. I think the most I've ever got my Sorcerer Supreme to is 900, and I'm faced off against 1,200. Also, although I must admit, this is where like my biggest frustrations come with matchmaking, where I've gone against 2 1,200s and one just over 1,000, and it's just been like, and I know that like people have said like, oh, that's fine, you can defeat them, and it's like no, that's not always the case, because there's some other things that are at play here when it comes to like the way that ranking your kind of your level and your rank pairs off against those that are a lot higher. Again, this is one of the reasons I produced that video, Defender and Stop, because I was low leveled in Arena, noticing that I was going up against people at 1,200, like low defenders versus high defenders. It's just not working. You can't do. But Kabam say that's just the interaction. But I think they changed this because I was losing 15 battle rating, and I put a point about this being like, why should I in this scenario lose 15 battle rating if I'm going in with 2 bots and I perform the best and the bots let me down? Why should I lose 15 battle rating? That is ridiculously unfair. And I think that was changed to that. I think it was like it was reduced down. If the enemies are higher than you, you go down by 3 to 5. I definitely have found that I haven't been losing quite as much with battle rating when that unfair scenario happens.
Well, that's good, at least.
Yeah.
But it's MROC is such an interesting game from sort of the player's emotional perspective, right? Because in MCOC, you're going to win a much higher percentage of your fights.
Yeah.
Than you would in Realm, right? Like just naturally, it's kind of like Alliance War, and in that you should reach that point where you're gonna be 50-50 if you're matched up well, and then it's up to, is everyone playing well, and do you feel like it was a competitive game?
Yeah.
And therefore good matchmaking. And then you can kind of be not okay with losing, but it doesn't feel as bad as it does when you get matched with some randoms and they just start running straight at the boss and get themselves killed, and you're suddenly in a 3-on-2.
Yeah. The thing that I like in comparison to MCOC is that if you, and I talked about this before, if you make a mistake or you get dropped inputs or something happens that it feels like it's completely unfair in MCOC, you have to spend units on revives to then redo that fight again, or redo it, or do it to continue on. Right. So the difference with this, and this is what I like about Marvel Realm, is it is solely built around your own skill, your own personal skill. Yes, you've got to rely on other people around you to be skilled enough in, or have a good game, or have like a non-drop of, I don't know, connection, have no connection issues. But it just doesn't feel like you're being overly punished. Like you don't have to you have to buy something in order to redo that. And the thing is that may change with the world quests coming in. You may have to do, Onslaught's something now where you only get one chance to do it. We don't get one chance to do it, but you get one chance per time to get to 15 waves.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like, if you've not made it, you're going to have to redo it again and try and get to 15 waves. So it's like you have to really be on your skill level, on your A game. And that's what I like.
Yeah, no, I agree. And at least in MROC, right, like, let's say you've got a bad match and it lasts a couple minutes and that's not great. Like, a Battle Alliance war in MCOC lasts 24 hours, and you've got 8 champs tied up.
Yeah.
So it's, but I think that's what they've got to learn, and I think as developers they have to learn that and design around the sort of emotional swings of the players, because MCOC is a very cerebral game in some respects. You've got to pick your team, and you go in and you scout your lanes. All right, I'm going to do this in this fight and this in that fight. Whereas Realm is a much more in the moment. It's that frenetic pace. You've got to make snap decisions, and there's big swings, right? Like I think we've both commented on there. There's been fights where it's like, if I had been 1 second faster, I would have won.
Yeah.
But we lost. You know, like you can lose and it can be very close to a win. Like you can see it. You know, so that, I mean, and that can be exhilarating when you're on the right side of that, and it can be demoralizing when you're on the wrong side of that.
Yeah. I think it's just how things are balanced with the BR side of things. Like I, at the moment, want to get those crystals that you get from getting different milestones of battle rating.
Those are tasty objectives.
They are.
I do like that they've gone very heavy on all these objectives. Like it always feels like you're getting something done in Realm. You switch characters, and it's like, okay, now I'm getting battle rating objectives for this new champion. So it's that's a nice feeling where it's like, ooh, look at my crystals and calendars. Like this is stuff that we didn't have for the first couple of years of contest.
That's the other thing as well, balancing the expectations of what this game was meant to be. And it's like, I don't know, like we've talked about this before, about the extent of what are we not even a month into the game, and even like for myself, I am demanding a lot of Marvel Realm, but I think that's the thing. I want to see it as success because I like the way it's put together, but things have to be improved. I mean, with MCOC was not a perfect game on launch. A lot of people may not even remember how the game was on Marvel Realm on launch. I mean, I don't know if people actually kind of overly picked it up, maybe on the launch side of things, but
I mean, I wasn't even right there. I wasn't there at launch for contest. I didn't join until February, so and it was still pretty stripped down then. I just remember like the first couple times we got new champs, it's like, ooh, we've got Hulkbuster and Ant-Man.
yeah.
Like it was a big deal to get a new champ back then.
And that's the thing, like they were all just rehashes. They weren't like, brand new. They weren't like, had unique builds that they have right now. They had like this kind of reskin element to it with very little originality.
Yeah, I remember when She-Hulk joined, the big selling point of She-Hulk was that it was a female character who finally had a different moveset.
Yeah.
because Magic and Captain Marvel, both Carol Danvers and Black Widow and Storm all had the exact same moves.
Yeah.
And I mean they still do. But yeah, I mean that was it. There was one female model, and they they gave her different abilities and different classes, but it was pretty much a reskin.
It all seems to be like it was Control-C, Control-V essentially. There was nothing really kind of like set itself apart than anything else, but it's like, I don't know. I really
the game was young.
Yeah, exactly. The same thing with Realm. I'm kind of glad that I've started off my channel when I did the Rich's Realm channel.
Yeah.
And I really do hope for the game to pick up and grow, because it seemed like we got like a big kind of push and resurgence with it, and then it just seemed to be like, I don't know, did people get a little bit, didn't really understand it? Did people understand it? Do people not understand it still? I don't know. There's a lot of factors that need to be balanced out here, I think.
There's a lot of factors. I think matchmaking's big. I think playing with randoms is big. I think, and I've seen this with my second account in MCOCs. Like, is that nice, smooth incline into at least Act 4, where you feel like you're getting stuff done. and there's not too much resistance. Maybe it's a little too easy, but again, I've already got the game mechanics down. If you're still learning how to parry and bait some of these specials, of course, you're learning the characters for the first time. There's a little more to take in, but it's kind of a nice, easy ramp up, and it's much more controlled within your own game and play style. Like, you can join an alliance, but it's probably not that big of a deal for an Act 2 or Act 3 player. Whereas in Realm, you're much more dependent on other people, which means more can go wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's something the developers have to evaluate when it comes to player retention.
Yeah, now that's the thing. We probably won't be privy to the numbers of the game and how well it's performed. It would be nice to kind of find out how many people are playing. It definitely looks like in the global chat, it's very much a flurry of communication, and the Discord, because there's the MROC Discord, does seem to have like an active amount of people chatting and out there on the grind. But yeah, I just hope that the game kind of grows and stuff, and we're hoping, aren't we, to get like a podcast together with some very key people at Marvel Realm of Champions. So
we have reached out to our Kabam sources, and we're hopefully we'll have some good news for people soon and be able to give you the inside scoop on where Realm is headed.
Yeah, I think one final thing to just quickly touch on is the Thor leaks.
He's looking good.
He is.
That Ragnarok Thor, I'm all about that. And you're finally going to get Stormbreaker, Rich. You can choose Mjolnir or Stormbreaker.
For me, I get to choose Yamborn, which I'm more interested in.
Ooh.
I just don't like Stormbreaker Thor.
Yeah, there was some Destroyer stuff too. Was that is he going to be an enemy? Do we know what's going on with him?
Well, I'm still unsure with it. I think the idea behind the Destroyer will either be something of maybe that's that world quest that they were talking about. Maybe you go to Asgard to fight, potentially. But
I could be down with that.
Yeah, the armor from Thor, from Destroyer, I think is kind of cool. It does play into that kind of like, okay, well, what do they do with Destroyer? They could chop it down for parts, or kind of like make the same metal, the Uru metal, the weaponry and as well the armor that Thor possesses. But I think it's good that they have the various different types of Thor hammers throughout the years, and it gives that kind of like enjoyment for players to kind of go out and get it. And that's the thing, I would look forward to getting it. I'm still at a point where I don't know if I'm at a ready point to push the button for early access paying for stuff. But the only thing I would mention is that if you're looking, and this is why I like World of Tanks. Back in the day, in World of Tanks, there was premium tanks. You pay it, you buy it, you own it for good. But there may be some free methods down the line that you're able to grind it out for free. Yeah, that's what Marvel. Well, actually, I don't think they do that in World of Tanks anymore, but they definitely do that in MROC. So your choices are early access, pay for it. You keep it. It's not like Crystals and MCOC where you're not guaranteed anything.
Yeah, but $10 and you've got the base character.
Yeah, exactly. And then look at like where you would, and you get some extra bits with it in order to rank it up and take it further. Do you get that in contest? No, you don't. So there's that little bit of added kind of like added extra value to your money. But yes, there's a free to play element to it. So that's what I don't know if I would. I will want to buy something in Marvel Realm. I just don't know what I want to buy. I think we talked about this before. Because I don't know if I want to go like crates and RNG. Would I look for more guaranteed elements of getting some rare or epic gear? Maybe. But I don't know.
Yeah, personally, I just wish they'd move the $5 unit card deal from MCOC over to MROC.
Yes.
Give me that exact same deal. I'll buy that.
That's what I was.
And then I'll figure out what to do with those units.
But that's the thing. They could do like a sigilly type thing, and kind of say like, I don't know, at the end of X period, or maybe some special objectives that you get as a result of having that kind of like sigilly type thing. You could get, I don't know, a rare gear crystal, which could be one of many different champions you have, and you pick up a rare bit of gear, or after X amount of time you you pick up something else. It's just like it'll be up to Kabam to have a look at the value side of things and trying to encourage people to buy. But I'd be up for it if they did it well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's covered the podcast, and we're exactly coming up to the hour mark.
Fantastic. So what's on tap for this week, Rich?
Oh, rest, I think, if anything.
Rest sounds good.
I'm trying to figure out what I need to do, like something like I've got these video ideas, but because I've had to put them on the back burner, like I was going to do top 10 hyped mobile games for 2021, top tips for 2021, which are going to reference things of just stuff that's coming for the year and stuff to prepare for an MCOC. Prep for the gifting event 2021. I thought what I'd do is I'd come up with some like new scenarios and kind of and how you can grow a secondary account now, and it can benefit you when you come to the end of the year and do it legitimately. And I think that's it. I need to go back and start the What If series again, and I think that's really it. There's a few things I want to do, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got over 36 video ideas for Marvel Realm I need to do.
Oh, just 30, just 3 dozen. No big deal.
Yeah. I need to, and I've because of like the update day, I've like thought, right, well, what I'll do is I'll kind of focus this to be a Sunday. So my Sunday grind is making videos about Marvel Realm. So I'm going to look forward to that. What are you up to next week?
I'm working on some Act 4.1 guides for the free-to-play account, and hopefully can do an opening next Friday, have a bunch of odds and ends. I've got some gifting crystals left. I've got some Cavaliers left from last month. I think I'll pick up the Sigil this weekend now that I'm Thronebreaker, because I am going featured 6 stars, so I want to get the discount there. So hopefully a featured 6-star and move my account forward. So that's the plan, and of course, a whole lot of tokens into the arcade and monthly event quest, and then much like you, I want to get back on the 7.1 100% train. Yeah,
that's a top priority. I mean, for me, this weekend by Sunday, 100% uncollected. Then get on with 100% Cavalier ASAP, and then it's 7.1 focus or it's Abyss. It just depends on where we're up to with Aegon. But yeah, that has been it. Thank you everybody for coming on by, listening and watching the podcast. Links to us both are in the bios. Make sure you're following on the relevant platforms: iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. We're all available there. And we'll see you all next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.